Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you may be in this world. I hope you all had a fantastic weekend. Let's wait a few minutes and see if anybody comes on in the room. I hope you guys had a great weekend. My weekend was jam packed. We had a lot going on this weekend. Hey, how are you? Akita, did I say your name right? Give me a thumbs up if I said your name right. I think sometimes the chat is a little slow. Hey, Princess. Hey, Dr. Song. I am doing well. I'm a little tired, but I am doing well. I'm doing well. I survived birthday season in my family because my oldest, his birthday is on the 15th of December. And he has a birthday party every year. And then I have my third, his birthday is 4 days after Christmas. And then my second, his birthday is tomorrow. And usually all of my kids, they get a separate birthday party and they still get Christmas. They get Christmas gifts and birthday presents separate. And I tell my family that even though my son, his birthday is 4 days after Christmas, do not tell him that his Christmas gift and birthday gift are all the same. Mm-mm. Because I don't do that to your kids. Your kids just happen to have a birthday separate and we still get them gifts. So don't do that. Plan. Because I don't want, little kids when they're small and he just turned 7, they don't really understand certain things. So, and he still has a birthday party. And usually I will have the birthday party the Saturday after they return to school so that he can invite his school kids, classmates to his birthday party. And then the very next week, my second oldest would usually have a separate birthday party. But this year I said it is too much. I cannot do all these separate birthday parties. So my third and my second, they had a birthday party combined together. And my nephew, one of my nephews, he's literally 12 hours older than my second son. So we had a 3-for-1 yesterday because my third child, he didn't care if he had his own birthday party or not, as long as he had his own cupcakes. That's all he cared about. So we had two different cakes because my second oldest and my nephew, they're like best friends and they want to do everything together. So every year they always want to have a birthday party together. So yesterday we had a 3-for-1. It was so many kids. I was like, Lord have mercy. But thank God everyone's kid was well behaved, well behaved. We had their birthday party at the YMCA. So they had a package deal where they can go swimming, do rock climbing, and utilize the basketball court, which was really great and really affordable because me and my niece, we split the cost and they had a really good time. But I am officially done with birthday season in our family. And I know my husband, he's kind of glad because his pocket get to take a little rest. A little rest. But I am doing well. Dr. Song, you reside in Georgia now, and we just had snow. It's cold. It's cold. Yeah, I used to live in Georgia, and it was so funny because before I moved to Georgia, I lived in Florida. I lived in Florida most of my adult life, and I always wanted to go move to Georgia because the Black Mecca, what have you. And everybody used to say, it never snows in Georgia. It never snows in Georgia. I was in Georgia 3 years. It snowed every year. And I used to get mad because I grew up in Delaware and we have 4 seasons in Delaware and you really get snow. But living in Georgia used to piss me off because it was like 2 inches of snow and the whole city would be shut down for a week. And I'm like, what are we doing? Why? Why? Why is the city shut down for 2 inches of snow? And then I'm like, even still, I'm like, you guys know it is going to snow. It has been snowing every year or almost every year. You should get a little more prepared to bring in someone who deals with snow to tell you guys how to treat the roads so that the whole city is not shut down for a whole week over a little bitty bit of snow. But I understand what you mean because when I first moved to Georgia, I was like, oh, it's cold. 40 degrees used to be cold because I lived in Florida for years and years before I moved to Georgia. So I was no longer acclimated to the cold. And I used to be like, 40 degrees is cold, freezing. Now 40 degrees to me is like 40 degrees is a breeze. I barely need a jacket. I barely need a jacket. Oh, you get jaundice. Oh my goodness. Oh, thank you. Thank you for the birthday wishes. Happy birthday to you all. Wow. Yeah, birthday is back to right. It's like yes, yes. So I'm glad we survived that. But I am very excited. I know a lot of you have watched my videos about being here in North Dakota, what's it like. I've posted um, different information about the benefits about living here, cost of living. Yeah, no one can drive. Well, depends on where you live because it gets icy here. And I can understand because Georgia isn't built for that. It doesn't have to happen a lot. But here we keep going. It's like keep the only way we shut down here is if it's whiteout conditions. School's gonna go on. It has to get like really, really bad and white out. And sometimes it'll get so cold, school will still be happening because it's like it's North Dakota. You got to keep going. And I'll just say, well, we're not leaving the house today because it's just too cold, too windy. They don't have to tell me. I'm calling a snow day for my kids. It's for my kids. But my husband, he's like, I gotta go to work. He's a diehard. He's just that kind of man from like back in the day that even though he has vacation time he can take off, he's gonna get paid. He's like, I have to go to work. My husband's gonna be early for work every day and not just like 15, 20 minutes early. He's gonna be early for work at least an hour. He now everything else he's probably gonna be late for. And I hate that. I hate being late. I hate being late. I hate rushing. But my husband, if it's not related to getting paid, he is most likely going to be late because he's going to be on island time. And he's like, it's no big deal. Whatever. I'm like, it started at 5 and we're now 6. No big deal. And then my sister-in-law, she's a doctor, and a lot of times she's late for family events. And he's like, well, she's late. We're late too. And I'm like, but we didn't have a reason to be late. We weren't delivering a baby. We weren't delivering a baby. We could have been on time. But anyway, but I am super excited because I have gotten a lot of positive response to my video about being Black and living here in North Dakota. I've posted, excuse me, different information about the cost of living. I've posted some in the community part of YouTube. I've posted some housing information about what you could get for pricing wise, what you can get for the cost of land. So because I've gotten a lot of interest for more details about living here in North Dakota and what it's like, I decided to host a move to North Dakota Summit It is the first of its kind that I know of. I've never heard of anyone else doing this, not even the state, even though they are asking for people to move here to help boost our economy because we have a lot of jobs here. There is a lot of job opportunity. There is a lot of opportunity for growth. There's a lot of opportunity for entrepreneurship. When I came here, I started my business. Well, it wasn't exactly when I came here. I came here in 2012. I started my business in 2016 after my husband got laid off from his job. And I was just like, so I started my own non-medical in-home care agency. And that was, it took off like, it took off so fast. It was shocking. I was just really surprised. Um, but it's a great place for opportunity. It's a great place to grow. Even if you don't want to be an entrepreneur, you want to. Oh, okay. We definitely need that here. There is a great need for anyone that is in the medical field. Where I live in Minot. We have one hospital here in town. They have the monopoly, which I don't think is a good thing. I think you should have a choice. Although I have always received quality care there. I only had a problem once with the doctor who delivered my second child. And I don't fault the hospital. I think the doctor was just a jerk. He was rude to everyone. He was rude to the nurse. He was just reminded me of a doctor like back in the day that thought because they were a doctor, they were better than everybody else, didn't matter who you were. He was just rude. And I didn't chalk that up to the hospital, the system, hospital system overall. It was just he was a jerk. He was just a jerk. And that's putting it nicely. But I've always received quality care. And even though I've always received quality care at the hospital, I think you should have a choice, but currently we only have one hospital in Minot. They have the monopoly. Um, Actually, Trinity has the monopoly on just about everything in North Dakota. If you get fired from there, kind of hanging up because you might have a problem finding a job in the medical field here in North Dakota. Here in North Dakota. But I read an article, I believe it was Friday, that they got the approval to for zoning for another hospital. Now they don't have permits. They haven't said who's coming here to build the hospital, but they have gotten approval for the zoning. So that is a good thing, which means that there will be a new hospital built here sometime or another. I don't know when. I don't know how soon it may be, um, but it's a good thing. Nurses are always needed here. We are in desperate need of nurses. A lot of the nurses that are here, actually, a lot of the people that are here in general in healthcare are travel, so they're looking for more people to be permanent. Um, Last month, my son was in the hospital. Excuse me. He was in the hospital for two and a half days, and his respiratory therapist was a traveler. Very nice, but it was good if we had people that would come and stay put. The healthcare system here has scholarships for nursing. If you want to go to nursing school, they do have scholarships. And unless it has recently changed, here in the state of North Dakota, if you have an employer that pays for your education, your certification, or what have you, they can't hold you to the company for a certain length of time. I know I didn't get my CNA license here. I came with my license. Oh, excuse me. But the healthcare system here where I live, they offer CNA classes. And unless it has changed, it wasn't that, oh, you go through them, you can get your license, and then you have to work for them for a certain amount of time. They don't have that here. Unless it has changed, it's against the law. They can't say, oh, you owe us this amount of time because we paid for your license, and they don't have that here. So that's a good thing. So there's a new hospital system coming here hopefully soon. The cost of living here It's very affordable. The cost of living, not just where I live, but in North Dakota in general, is very affordable. I read an article a few days ago that they are working on doing away with property taxes here. They did not say when that will take effect, but they did say that they're working on something that will do away with property taxes. Now, I personally, when they put it to vote, I didn't vote for it because I said, hey, they have to get the money from somewhere. And they didn't say where they were going to get the money from. Now, not that I want to pay taxes on my property, but I wanted to know where the money was coming from. And they did not say. So I voted no. But apparently, hey, I guess other people voted yes. So something will be in the works. Well, they down the road or what have you. I'm not particularly 100% sure, but they have been talking about that. Hey, from Baltimore. My grandmother was from Baltimore. Um, so what else? Cost of living is very affordable. Here where I live, you can still find an apartment for very cheap. You can get an apartment here for less than $800. And of course, we do have some apartments that are more expensive. They're newer. They're more supposedly luxury. There's a pool in the building, all that kind of stuff. But you can still find an apartment here for less than $800. And no, it is not going to be in the hood. It is not going to be in the hood. We don't really, here in Minot, where I live at, we don't really have a hood. And people think I'm exaggerating when I say that, but it's simply the case here. We don't have a project. We don't have we do have low income housing and stuff like that, but you would never know that it's low income housing. Um, you don't have people hanging out on the street, hanging out in front of the store and hanging out in front of the liquor store. Now, here in North Dakota, there are a lot of bars, there are a lot of liquor stores. And to be quite honest, it's the first, in the Black community or the media society used to say there's a lot of, liquor stores and this and that or what have you. When I came here, which is majority white, it's like a liquor store everywhere. I'm like, whoa. But a lot of people drink here. A lot of people drink here. And the sad part about it is like getting a DUI is an unofficial rite of passage here, in my opinion, because I remember my husband had a coworker. He was barely 21 and he had a DUI already. And it was not out of the norm for people to have DUIs here. So much so that if you get a DUI and you and I'm not laughing because it's funny that you got a DUI. It's just funny that they have this way of thinking here that if you go to your employer and like, oh, I got a DUI, I got to turn myself in, I got to do 5 days of what, it's like it's no big deal. You go do your 5 days and you come back and you're going to have your job. It's like, where are they doing that at? Oh, I gotta go do 30 because I had a DUI. It's like, okay. And I have never heard of such a thing. Um, but they have a lot of liquor stores here, so that's a problem in my opinion. But there's not anyone like hanging out in front of the liquor store and all that kind of stuff. We have a homeless coalition here, but you don't have anyone that's actually living on the street like some places have turned to in America where there's people living on the street or what have you. We don't have that here. For one, if someone came to town and or lived here in town and they are homeless, they're going to be homeless and living with family, homeless, living at a hotel, that kind of homeless. You cannot be homeless living on the street here because that won't be very long. You're going to have to go to another state or somewhere else warmer because you're going to literally freeze to death. You can't do that here. That's not possible. She said that the transit system. Yeah, the bus system here where I live is a very good bus system for a small town. They call it a city, but it's not a city compared to what I know a city. But officially, it is a city. But the bus system here is a very good bus system. We have the public bus that you stand out and you catch. Um, When I first moved here, I worked at the nursing home. The car that we brought with us, it broke down literally 2 days after we came here, so we didn't have a vehicle. But the bus stop was right outside of maybe about a 1 minute walk, maybe not even that far from my apartment. The bus stop was there. And the bus is always on time. So I would know when the bus is coming and I would just walk out right before the bus would get there. And so you're not, I wasn't like I'm going to be standing out there waiting and waiting in the cold. And then the same thing when I worked at the nursing home, the bus stop was right outside of one of the doors. So I knew when the bus was coming and I would just go out right then. Now, when I first came here, the bus stopped running at 4:30. Now it runs, I think, till like 7. I'm not 100% sure, but they have the city bus. But we have a Lyft here now. When I first came here, we did not have Lyft. There's no Uber here, but there is a Lyft. And the other great thing is that if you don't take the city bus, we have another bus system here that is kind of like a cab system because you call their dispatcher and you tell them what time you want to be picked up, and they come and they pick you up at your house. They take you to where you're going and you tell them what time you are going to be ready, and they will come back and get you. And you can call every day to schedule for a pickup, or you can schedule a week in advance or what have you if you know that, say for instance, you work Monday through Friday, um, 9 to 5, and you need them to pick you up by 8 o'clock. Just call, schedule for the whole week. So I think that's kind of good because it's kind of like a cab, but it's not really a cab. And then we have cab system here as well, so it's really good. Hey, Minnesota Cotton Candy. North Dakota is a very great place. It is a very great place. The people are friendly, very, very friendly. And it's a majority white place, but we don't have any racial tension here. Now we do have some Trumpers. And I don't have a problem with people that are Trump supporters, because this is what America is about. Everybody isn't going to have the same opinion. It's a great thing to live in a country that if you disagree with someone from from a different political party, you're not going to end up in jail. We have that right here in America. Many places in the world do not have that right. So you have the right to support whoever you want to support, and I love it. I love it. Now we do have people that are MAGA, they support Trump, but nobody is bothering you. Nobody's coming up and like, oh, Camilla, and oh, just, I have not experienced that. I saw some of my neighbors had some of them had the Trump things in the yard, some of them had the Camilla things in the yard. It was like, okay, vote for who you want to vote for. We really don't care. I didn't hear of any problems with that. Because I know a lot of people think that everyone who's a Trump supporter is just out to get you or what have you, out to get the other people of a different race or what have you. I have my own thoughts on, but that I'm not here for that. I'm not here for that. I'm not here for political talk. But it's very people here are very friendly. When I first came here, a few years after moving here, there's this little town here called Leeds, North Dakota. The neo-Nazis moved into the town and were trying to take over the town. It's a very small place. It made national news. You can Google it if you feel to fact check me. But the neo-Nazi moved into that little town and were trying to take over. They were trying to get on county seats or what have you. And when the people found out, they were literally like, hell no, don't bring that BS here. We're not having it. And I think they only had like one or two black people in the town. I think it was one black man and a couple Native Americans. But the people band together and said, hell no, don't bring that here. And then they asked for help from other cities to come to Leeds, North Dakota to help them get rid of these people. And they found some charges on them or what have you. They arrested them or what have you. Well, make a long story short, it didn't work. The people were like, don't bring that BS here. We may be small, but we don't want that nonsense here. So, it didn't happen. Let me read through the comments. Yes. And purchase a vehicle with four-wheel drive. That's right. I haven't heard of anyone getting their car stolen here. I'm not going to say it does not happen because you always have some people, in the words of my grandmother, that don't have no act right in them. Not act, act. They don't have no act right in them. Some of them, their mother taught them right, but they just act like their mother didn't teach them anything. So, but I I have a garage, but we got so much of my kids' crap in there. We don't have the truck in the garage. It's out front. We warm up the car, leave the keys in the car. Nobody's still in the car. When it gets so cold here, you cannot lock your car door because you won't get in because the lock is frozen. I haven't heard of any grand theft rings of cars getting stolen. So it's a very safe place. And yes, you get a vehicle with four-wheel drive and it makes it easier for you to get round about town. And they're really good with clearing the roads, especially the highway. They come and clear the side streets and anything and everything. And the people here are very friendly. Like my husband and I, we don't have a snowblower. My neighbor across the street, he keeps coming over and clearing our driveway, and I feel a little bad because I'm like, I don't want to feel like I'm taking advantage of him, but he cleared the neighbor next door to him because she's a widower, her husband died, and she's elderly, and then he clears the sidewalk down the street to the school because I literally live around the corner from the school, not even a 5 minute walk, probably 2 minute. He cleared that sidewalk, both sidewalks, one going in one direction, one going in the other direction. And he came over and he cleared my driveway. The person who I was hiring to do it, I had to call them and say, hey, I'm sorry, but my neighbor already cleared it. And that happened to me 2 times. That happened 2 times. And I'm like, I don't want him to feel like, and he's like, trust me, it is no big deal. And this is a white gentleman. This is a white gentleman. So people here are very friendly, very friendly. Of course, you have some jerks, but you got jerks everywhere. You got jerks everywhere. And I haven't run into a problem with many people here. I had one neighbor once that she had some problems, but she has some mental problems. Literally mental problems. Literally mental problems. But the people here are very friendly. Oh, you're welcome, Rita. You're welcome. My last apartment was Sunset Ridge. Now, here's the thing about a lot of apartments here. A lot of the apartments are managed by the housing authority, although the housing authority does not own them. Because most places it's like the housing authority, it's like it's low income housing or what have you. But here that's not the case. It's just that some companies, they hire the housing authority to manage their building. And we lived in a three bedroom, two bath, two car garage with and it was a secure building, and you have to use a fob to get in or buzz to get in, and it has cameras all over the place in the building. And when we moved out, the rent was $895. I mean, where can you get that? Where can you get that? $895. Dishwasher, washer and dryer. Very nice apartment. Very nice apartment. Um, no, there's not a lot of car accidents here due to the weather. Most of the people here, they're from here and they know how to drive in the snow. Learning to drive in the snow isn't very hard. It's just that you have to use common sense and remember to slow down, especially if you have never driven on the snow and ice before. You just drive slow. And if you're scared, just drive really slow. If somebody gets mad, they just get mad. And nobody's going to start cussing you out and honking the horn like, in most major cities. I remember once we had rear wheel drive on one of our vehicles. Don't do that. That was a stupid idea. But we had real dry, and I was going up a hill, and the car would not make it. It was a Nissan Xterra. I got halfway up that hill, and the car was like, "Mm-mm, girlfriend, we're not going any further." So I could not get up the hill, and I was keeping my foot on the brake, and I had to do out the window one of these, telling people, telling the people to back up because I can't make it up there. Letting people know, hey, I gotta back up. And what did they do? Back up so I could back up and get off that hill. And nobody was honking the horn and cussing at me and you know. But we do have there's DUIs here, but I haven't heard of a large amount of DUIs. I haven't. Yeah, you just pull over and contact the police. I haven't heard of a lot of DUIs, but we do have DUIs, but it's not like you hear about a DUI every day or someone, not even on a monthly basis of someone getting killed in a car wreck because of a DUI. I haven't heard of it. I know, Cotton Candy. I'm not asking him, and that's what my mom was like. He's just being a good neighbor, and if he says he doesn't mind, just take it as kindness. Because at one point I said, "Oh, thank you," and he's like, I was like, "Thank you so much." He's like, "It's no big deal. I know your husband goes out early and comes home late, and I know how it is. He's probably tired. He's tired, so it's no big deal." So I guess I should just be like, okay. And I always say thank you, God, because one neighbor, that last neighbor that had a little mental problem, after her, I was like, I don't want to be bothered with neighbors. But I guess he was like, I guess God is like, I'm going to show you that all people are different, which I already knew that. But just after her, it was just like, and that neighbor is like, he's just he's a really nice guy. It's him and his wife, and he has a 10-year-old daughter. But they are really nice people, really, really nice people. So you do find some genuine nice people here. And one of the good things is it's really community based here. I know I talked about it before, but if you weren't on previously, um, one of the things I love about North Dakota is the sense of community here, that you'll hear someone who is battling cancer or battling some other kind of sickness, and they'll get to have together. The community will get together and have what do they call it, a benefit to raise money for them. They'll have like a dinner, or they'll have a pancake benefit to raise money for whoever that person is that is struggling financially. If a farmer, if he becomes ill and he can't harvest his crops or something happens, the community is going to come together and go harvest his crops for him. Or if his crops didn't do so well, they're going to go out and they're going to help. It's a really good sense of community here. I know someone who is in a wheelchair. She got her driver's license, and of course, she needed a vehicle with hand controls because she's in a wheelchair. Her legs don't function. The community, they rallied together. Her grandparents did some different things, and they were able to raise the money because the community helped them, and they got her a van. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome, Rocky True Legend. You're welcome. Let me see if I missed anything else. But the people here are really good people. It's really affordable here. You can of course there's homes here that are super expensive, and as long as I've been here, I've seen them build some new neighborhoods here. Like they built a new country club here. It's really, really nice. It's beautiful. So they have some homes over there that are really expensive, but you can still get a home here that is less than $300,000. And I know that for a fact because my husband and I, we closed on our house in end of September, and we didn't pay $300,000 for our house. And we live in a 4 bedroom, 3 bath home, 2 car garage We have a deck off of our home, washer and dryer, upstairs, downstairs, fireplace, a very big size yard. In fact, my yard is bigger than my brother's yard, and he paid way more, not way more money, but he paid more money for his house than we paid for ours. Now, is my house brand new? No, it is not. It is not brand new, but it is a nice home. It keeps the cold out. Um, our house is older, but the installation is still very well. It actually gets hot in here at night. We got to turn down the heat to like 67. You might not do that until you're here and get acclimated. You'll be like, oh, it's still cold. But we have a very nice house, very nice house, and it's not brand new, but we can pay the mortgage with just my husband's paycheck and use my money for investments and for other things. And we sleep easy at night knowing that we're not stretched to the max. Now, I know some places, hey, Elijah, my baby boy's name is Elijah. Um, I know some places people can't do that. You need both incomes in order to be able to afford a mortgage. That's one of the benefits about living here. You can make high wages, and if you choose to, you can purchase a home at a very affordable rate. Now, I always say this is not the dream, is not the dream home, but it's a great starting point. And this isn't my first home. This is my first home as a married woman. But it's a great starting point. Very great starting point. So you can get a house here that's very affordable if you're married, depending on what kind of job you do and what kind of income you bring in. You can afford, if you're a traditional man like my husband, excuse me, and you want to be able to pay the bills without your wife's help. If you want your wife's help, that's your business. That don't have nothing to do with me. There's a whole nother video for a whole nother time that I'm not getting into right now. But if you're that type of man that's like, oh, I want to be able to take care of my wife if she chooses not to work, okay, or maybe you want her to stay at home. You have small children and you feel like, and she agrees that I want to be home to take care of the kids. You can come here, you can make the money to be able to do that and afford to buy a home and be able to do that and live comfortably. Live comfortably. And we all know groceries are through the roof. My mom said she went to a grocery store the other day and eggs were $8. Now, these were Eggland Best eggs, which are the eggs my dad only wants to eat these days, which, hey, he raised his 3 kids. He's retired. He don't have to take care of anybody but himself and my mama. If you want to spend $5 on eggs, is what they used to cost. Go right ahead, Mr. Joe. But now they're up to $8. My mom was like, eggs are $8. And we all know groceries are very high. When we lived in our old apartment, I told y'all my rent was $8.95. Our grocery bill was more than that. Now, we probably could get our grocery bill down lower if I cut out snacks for my kids because I don't know what it is, but the schools here, they're like senior kids with 2 snacks. And my kids think they need to go with 2 snacks. Then when they come home from school, they want to eat snacks, which it's like, okay, whatever. But our grocery bill was really like $1,000 or more, which I'm like, this is expensive. But although it is expensive, and I get frustrated when I go to the grocery store because it's like, okay, the price of this is up, but the quantity is less. What do you I think I probably was the first person that noticed that the loaf of bread got smaller. And that's because I have 4 kids. It's like, wait a minute. Do y'all really think I don't notice that this loaf of bread is smaller than it used to be? But we can afford to pick groceries on our table. And my kids, snack too much, even though I keep telling them, you eat it all up, not buying no more snacks for a minute. We can afford to pay our mortgage, pay our light bill, all of the things that we have to pay, and still put food on the table without the need for food stamps. Now, I know a lot of people are like, oh, I'll get food stamps. Oh, great. I didn't want to get government assistance. I want to be self sufficient. And I'm not knocking anybody if you get food stamps, because I'm glad we live in a country that if you need some help, you don't have to go digging through the trash to eat leftover scraps. So find your kids some food. Go down there and get the food stamps. But I didn't want to be one of those people that feel like I need to get this forever or I'm entitled to it. No, it's to help, it's to assist. But here we can afford to pay our bills and put food on the table. When my kids need a new pair of shoes, which seems like they all need a new pair of shoes at the same time, I wish they would get together and have a little discussion and decide who's going to need a new pair of shoes first. But when they all need a new pair of shoes, we're able to go get them a pair of shoes. And I'm not bragging, but it's a good thing as a parent to be able to get your kids the things that they need and give them the things that they want. Now, when I lived in Georgia, I was broke. And I know everybody that lives in Georgia is not broke. Some people living in Georgia and they're doing really good, but that was not my story. That was not my story. When I lived in Georgia, yes, Georgia had cheap homes. They're not cheap anymore, but they had cheap homes. You could get a mini McMansion for $150,000, but the pay was low. The pay was low. They didn't pay any money. But if I lived in Georgia, I would not have had any children because I would not be able to afford to take care of them, and I was not going to be birth any children into poverty, knowing that I couldn't take care of myself and have some children. That's just wrong. That's just wrong. But there is no way that I would be able to do the things I can do for my children here if I would have stayed in Georgia and if things had not changed for me. So living here has really changed my life. Living in North Dakota didn't just change my address, it changed my life. Um, Yeah, there's only one major hospital where I live at. There used to be two. There used to be St. Joseph's, but Trinity bought St. Joseph's and now they own both, but they don't at St. Joseph's. Um they used to only do same day surgery, but I don't even think they do same day surgery there anymore because they literally built and opened a brand new hospital here. I think it was like it may be 3 years now. It may be 3 years because we just came into the new year. It's either 2 or 3 years. It's not that old. It's very new, very new. Um, but we Bismarck is an hour and a half, 2 hours away, depending on where you're going out in Bismarck. And they have more than one hospital there. And then you have Fargo, which is 4 hours away. And Fargo is the biggest city here in North Dakota. I think they have like 150 some thousand people there, and they have more than one hospital there. So it's just where I live at, and we have clinics here. I don't know why they call them clinics here, but it's not like clinics like I know when I lived in like Florida or Delaware, the clinic was like free services or what have you. It's not. It's just the doctor's office. They just call them clinics here for some reason. Robert Hightower, thank you. And he says, I like this video. I'm a military retiree, soon to be fully retired in a few years. I would like to hear about North Dakota highly. So I don't know how old you are, Mr. Hightower. You sound like you may be old enough to be for me to put a Mr. in front of your name. So using the manners that my mama taught me, Mr. Hightower. North Dakota is a great place for seniors, in my opinion. We have affordable senior living, especially here where I live in Minot. There's a lot of newer senior living facilities. They look very beautiful. My grandmother, before she passed away, she moved here and she lived in a senior facility, not a facility, senior apartment building that's reserved for only senior citizens. I don't mean senior facility, but apartment complexes that are reserved for only senior citizens. Her apartment was very nice. It had its own washer and dryer right in the apartment, of course, kitchen and all that stuff. And it has a community center. in the building. It has grills and everything you need. It had a library in the building, exercise center in the building, and they've been built a couple of those here in town, and they are very, very affordable. Yes, there are Rocky True Legend. There are houses for rent close to the medical offices. There are. Hey Gigi. Oh yeah. Sometimes we just gotta go. We just gotta go. My mom was telling me today that my dad's childhood friend that my dad's childhood friend, his father passed away. And my dad he grew up in the Miami area, North Miami Beach. And his friend went to the military, and he settled in San Diego, and he never went back to North Miami Beach. Um, so I was talking to my mom about it today, and I said he never went back, and my mom said no. I said, and my mom's like, there's nothing in Washington Park. And I said, yeah. And sometimes it's good to settle far from where what you're familiar with, because if you settle close to those same people, every time they have an event or have something going on, you're going to want to go and you're going to get drawn back in. And if those people aren't doing anything with their life, they're in the same place that they were. Sooner or later, you're going to find yourself in the same situation, doing nothing or not progressing. Because I know people in my own family, sad to say, I love them dearly. But when I look, I'm like, I'm glad I don't live near them, because they would be saying, oh, you think you're better than me because I don't want my kids to come to certain things. And it doesn't mean that I don't love you. It doesn't mean I don't love your kids. It means that no, I don't want my children standing up taking a picture and it look like they have gang signs, or they got the pants hanging down, or stereotypical stuff. It's like, I'll see you when I see you, when I come back to Florida, whenever that may be, I'll see you. But to be on a regular, no, I love you, but sometimes we must go. The Fargo has a bigger mall than where I live. Where I live, in might not, you can do the mall in 20 minutes. If you're walking slow, excuse me, you can go through the mall in 20 minutes if you're walking slow. But the malls everywhere going. So that's, but Fargo has Macy's in the mall. I hear they're closing some Macy's all over. I don't know if that Macy's will still be here or not, but Fargo has Macy's. We have Old Navy here. We have Torrid. We have Maurice's. Sorry, man, I don't know the men's stores. We have J.C. Penney's here, which is like, I don't know why J.C. Penney's is still around anywhere. We have Target. We have Walmart. We have Marketplace, which is the grocery store. Marketplace has the monopoly on the grocery store here. There's three or four Marketplace here. We have two on one street here, which is kind of weird. Oh, see, I knew it, Mr. Hightower. Okay. Yeah, you're 62. And my mom and dad, they moved here when I got pregnant with my first kid. They moved here because my brother, he got married in his 20s, and all of his kids are grown now. People think it's weird when I say my niece has a son who his birthday is the day before my son. I'm like, but my niece is 30 something because my brother got married young, had kids young. All of his children are grown. All of his children are grown. But my parents retired here when my mom first came here. She did daycare for I don't know how many years. She had one of the biggest daycares here, but then she retired. And they're doing really well here, really, really well here. Their social security and retirement goes a long way here. They're doing really well. My dad can afford them $8 eggs. That's how well they're doing here. He can afford them $8 eggs. Okay, just seeing what to do. We love going. Oh yeah, they have stores here, and like now I have to tell you, we do not have a Sam's Club or a Costco here where I live. There's one in Bismarck, and we will drive over to Bismarck to go to Sam's and to Costco. Um, and we're just kind of different because when we're gonna go to Sam's Club or Costco, my husband and I, we usually go over the night before, especially if we're gonna take the kids. We go over the night before, we stay in a hotel, then we shop, and then we come back the next day. Because if we're taking the kids, it makes for a long day, and then we have to come home, unload the truck, and then unpack the foods, vacuum seal it, and all of that. It's a long day for one day, especially if we're taking the kids. So we just make an event out of it. We'll go the night before, and sometimes we'll let the kids get in the pool at the hotel and all that kind of stuff. And then we'll come back home the next day. So Bismarck is really nice. I often say if Bismarck was the first place, if Bismarck or Fargo was the first place, well, not Fargo. I wouldn't. Fargo is nice. Depending on where at in Fargo, it's either 5 minutes to Minnesota or 3 hours to Minnesota. Fargo is nice, but Fargo doesn't pay as much as they do over this way because we're closer to the oil fields and stuff. So you make more money over here. But I always say if I had moved to Bismarck first, I probably wouldn't have been like, I'm not going to live here forever because Bismarck has way much more to do. I probably would have been content and say, oh, this is nice. I can be here forever, even though I'm not fond of the cold. But because there's more to do over there, I would be like, okay, we're just going to be here. But I love the warm. So one day I know I'm going to move somewhere again warm, but it won't be today, tomorrow, or next year. No, it's never snowed here in June before. I've been here. Next month actually will be my 13th year here, and it has never snowed here in June. Never snowed here in June. Yeah, Fargo has a lot more people there. Fargo is more diverse because Fargo is close to Minnesota. You're gonna see more Africans over in Fargo. You're gonna see more mix of people. Especially in the last 2 or 3 years, you'll see more Mexicans, more Latinos and stuff. Um, we have we have a little diversity here where I live in Bismarck, in Minot and in Bismarck, but not that much. I mean, I was excited a couple weeks ago. It might have been last week or the week before. I went in the grocery store and it was the first time I heard someone speaking Spanish. In like a long time, and I was excited because I used to live in Florida, so we're very diverse. Um, so I was excited. I was like, yeah, a little diversity, a little diversity. And I've met a few people that came here from Cuba um, by way or whatever. They ended up here. We have some Haitian people here that because of the Haitian crisis or what have you, they were allowed to come to America legally. They're here legally. They are not illegal. They are in the country legally, and their family or whoever sponsored them, and then they heard about the jobs and things here, and they came here to North Dakota. I met people in the driver's license office, and I asked where they're from or what have you, and they're like, "Oh, Cuba, or Haiti," and they don't speak a lot of English or whatever. And I'm like, "Is this the first place you've been in America?" And they say, "Yeah." And I said, "Are you sure?" Most people they stop to Miami if they're from Cuba. And he's like, "Yeah, I was in Miami a few weeks, but then my friend told me about North Dakota. So anyway, but we have a little diversity here. Let me read back through the comments. Summers here are very beautiful. The weather is mild. Summer here is very beautiful. It's very beautiful. And like August is the hottest month. We'll get to the 90s, but it's not like a 90s in Georgia or in Florida. Some years back, my husband and I we went to Georgia. Oh my God. After being here for so long, and I lived in Georgia before, but we went to Georgia and we went to someone's house. They had air conditioning, but they really didn't turn it on. I said, "Oh my God, this is so hot. This makes me really not want to go to hell, because if it's this hot, what in the world is hell?" Like, that's how long I have been gone away from the heat. It was like, and it was like 90s, but 90s here is hot, but it's not. It's a different kind of heat. Yeah, we have TJ Maxx here, we have Target, we have Ross, we have TJ Maxx, Ross, Home Goods. Um, there's a Five Below here. I'm trying to think what else is here at the mall. I can't remember off the top of my head. Bismarck is very nice. Very, very nice place to live. Bismarck has a little more people than Minot. Bismarck is the state capital, so there's more people over there. There's more medical facilities. They have more than one hospital over there. Um, but Bismarck is really nice. Bismarck is really nice. The houses over in Bismarck are a little more expensive than where I live at. Fargo, excuse me. Fargo's a nice place. The good thing about Fargo is it's only 3 hours from Minneapolis, and there's Mall of America, which is the biggest mall here in the United States. They have Mall of America. Mall of America is really nice, especially if you have children, because they have the Nickelodeon theme park right inside of the mall. They have um, the Lego store, which has different things for kids to do. There's the Crayola store. Mall of America has everything you could possibly need in there. And Fargo is 3 hours away from there. Does it ever get boring? Yes, it gets boring here. And I'll say because, as you probably can tell, I'm past 20s. And I don't go to, well, we don't have clubs here where in Minot they have. Is it's a bar. I don't call it a club by my standards from when I was clubbing, but they have they have bars. Um, they have what they call a club, but for me, I don't do those things. I don't drink. Um, and not that I think there's something wrong with drinking, even though I'm a Christian, I don't think drinking is sending anybody to hell. That's just my opinion. I'm not pushing it on anybody else, but I don't think drinking is sending anybody to hell. It's just that when I was like 20 something, I looked around my family and I saw a few people in my family had a problem. And I was like, I don't want that to be me. So I don't drink. And I guess I maybe shouldn't say I don't drink. Um, but I don't drink often. If my husband asks me to have a glass of wine with him, I will. But I'm not going to finish the glass of wine because Wine was never my thing in the first place. I liked the little fruity drinks or what have you. Um, so that's not my thing, going out to the bar and all that kind of stuff. Now, if my husband wants me to go somewhere with him, I don't mind. But that's just not my thing. But the to be 20 or 30, this is the perfect place for you to come. The perfect place, and I'll tell you why. Because there is money and opportunity here. There is money and opportunity here if you're that young. Most of the time when you're 20, 30, you're still in really great health. You're in the prime of your life. So working long hours is nothing. I remember when I was in my 20s, I worked for American Express, and I worked 10 hours 4 days. And most of the time, and I had 3 days off. So I worked 4 days, 10 hours, and most of the time I would work 2 of my days off and then just be off 1 day, working up the overtime. Now I didn't have the sense I have now to know what to do with money back then. If only I knew what I knew now back then. But it was nothing to me. And then I would work 12 hours. I wouldn't work 10. I would work 12 hours. And I would rack up the money, and it was nothing. I remember even one time I went to the club. And this young generation is lightweight. I remember once I went to the club, we stayed out all night partying, and I don't know why I didn't call in the next day, because I had PTO, I could call in or whatever, but I went to work. Oh my God. Talk about a rough day. A rough day. Trying to work after being that work a 12-hour shift, after partying all night, but I made it. But when you're young, that's nothing for most people. For most people. But if you're young, there's money to be made here. You come here, you make the money, manage your money right. If you don't like it here, stay. Stay a good 5 to 10. Rack up your money, buy you an apartment building. Don't buy a house. Don't let the first place you buy be the place that you're going to live in when you're young. Get you a duplex, live on one side, rent out the other side, or even get a fourplex. You can get a fourplex with an FHA loan. Live in one, rent out the other three. Let the other three take care of your mortgage. Or if you're in a duplex, live in one, rent out the other. Let the one you're renting take care of your mortgage or the majority of your mortgage. And then stay here 5 to 10 and push on to the next place where you want to be after you made your money. It's a good place if you're 20, 30. And then you're going to make enough money that you can travel. You can go someplace. When it gets cold, get your passport, head on down to Mexico, head on to Jamaica, wherever, because you got the money. You got the money. Yeah, Georgia. And you got a lot of people playing rich that are not rich. You got a lot of people in Georgia playing like they're rich and they're not rich. Come on out. Come on out here. That's right. If your mom approved, good. Good. Can you find a husband out here? Child, you can find a husband. You can find a husband anywhere, but yeah, you can find a husband here. And I tell you what, you're gonna find a man. Well, a man will find you, and he's not no hobosexual. You know what I mean by hobosexual? He just want to lay up off of you, live on your couch, and you take care of him. Mm-mm. There's men out here that have jobs, hard working, and making some money. And I'm not saying that you're looking for a man for a retirement plan, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Yeah, I love going out to the stores. That's what I love to do. Going out to the stores, travel when I can. A lot of jobs pay. Okay, Cotton Candy says The struggle there is definitely real. A lot of the jobs are paying 7.25 an hour. People are scamming to get by. Listen, there is no company anywhere here in North Dakota that's going to be paying minimum wage. Because I tell you what, they'll be open today, gone out of business tomorrow. Because there may be minimum wage, but nobody's here is working for minimum wage. Not at all. When I first came here, this is before the pandemic, of course, when people started paying McDonald's money, what some people would say good money. But when I first came here, McDonald's was paying $15 an hour. $15 an hour and offering a signing bonus between $500 and $1,000. Where has anybody ever gotten a signing bonus at McDonald's? Now, this is when I first came here in 2012. So nobody can pay minimum wage here and be in business. It's just not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. No, she's not talking about North Dakota. She's talking about Georgia. There are some homes here that have swimming pools. It's very unusual. Very unusual. There are some people who have swimming pools. I'm assuming that they are someone in the oil industry. In the oil industry, if they have a swimming pool. It's not common, but I have seen some homes have swimming pools, only like one or two. It's very, very rare that you have a swimming pool. But here where I live, we have a zoo here, and there's a zoo in Bismarck, and there's a zoo in Fargo as well. I don't know about Grand Forks, but I know Fargo has a zoo, and I know Bismarck has a zoo, and here where I live, it might not have a zoo. So we have a zoo, we have a community swimming pool that has the water slide and all those things. We have hotels here that have water slides. And the great thing about the hotels here, because sometimes I have my kid's birthday party at the hotel, excuse me, because my oldest son, he likes to get in the water, he likes the pool. So a few years he wanted to have his birthday party at the hotel because it has the water slides and all that stuff. You don't have to be a guest at the hotel. You can just rent the space to have a birthday party there. So that's what we do. And then sometimes we just go to the hotel to take our kids to the pool. So we have that. Um, the thing about it here where I live in North Dakota is it's not expensive raising kids here. Now, kids are expensive, but when I say not expensive, kids activities are very affordable. Basketball is $99 for the month, and they're getting trained. The guy who owns the basketball facility here, he is a retired. He played overseas. He played overseas. Then we have tennis. My son goes to tennis, $15 a lesson, and he's getting trained by a world champion. And I don't know where Mr. Mark, I don't know what championship he won, but he's a world champion. He has trained other champions. Um, $15 a lesson. And then you have like the monthly plan. And I can't remember how much the monthly plan is. Not a monthly plan. I think they go on an 8 week, it's an 8 week program, and that's very affordable. Taekwondo, $99 for the month. I don't know anywhere where you can get those things for $99 for the month. So it's very affordable. My kids do swim lessons, um, and it's like $82. They went in the summertime 5 days a week because my oldest son, he already knew he was acclimated to the water. He got better at swimming in a week, and then you go on 1 week. It's like a four series program. So you start at series one, then they test you, and you just go to the next series. Like $82 per session, and the session lasts. It's 5 days a week, and I can't remember how long the session lasts, but it's very affordable, very, very affordable. Um, There is a water park in Mandan, which is right outside of Bismarck. It's right outside of Bismarck. There's a water park there, and then there's Four Bears Casino, which is in Newtown, and I think that's 2 hours away from me. I haven't been there, but they have a water park also. They have a little yacht if you want to go around the lake and do dinner and all that kind of stuff. They have that over there. Um, so there's things to do. There's a bunch of lakes here. If you like to be out on the lake, you like to go fishing, they have that here. They have ice fishing. The craziest thing I've ever seen here is someone drive their truck on the ice. The first time I saw that, I had to do a double take. I said, "Is there someone out there on the lake?" And sure enough, it was a truck on the lake. It was wintertime, and of course, the lake was frozen. But I said, I could never, because there's no way I would ever trust that. But I guess if you're born and bred here or born and bred somewhere where it gets that cold, you're just like, okay. But you'll see people with their houses out where they're ice fishing. My older brother, he's gone house ice fishing before. I was like, oh, okay, more power to you, but you're not getting me out there. You're not getting me out there. But it's a very nice place to live. Yep, it's in Bloomington. Mall of America is nice. I like staying at that hotel across the street. I can't remember the name of it. And then you just walk across the walkway into the mall, into the parking lot, and then into you walk across the walkway into the mall, um, covered parking, and then into the mall. It's very nice, very nice. They have everything you could ever need over there. No, I'm not doing ice fishing. Um, Hunting is very big here. You have to be 12 to go hunting. I'm kind of excited that my son isn't old enough for that because I'm not ready for that. Um, what else is there that he do here? There's trails here. There's the Badlands here. There's a lot of things to do here, especially if you're an outdoors person. There's fishing, there's the lakes. It's a nice pace. It's a nice pace. It's peaceful. And I know I said it before, but the people here are very nice people, very nice people, very, very, very nice people. I used to live in Florida. I used to live in Georgia. And in Florida, you have to know where to go, especially in the Miami or Broward County. Broward County. I don't know about anywhere else in Florida because I've been to other places in Florida, but not lived any place else in Florida. But you have to know where to go and where not to go. And you don't have that problem here. You don't have to worry about if I stop to a gas station, am I going to get robbed? Being a woman, you don't have to worry about if I go out to the store at night by myself. Do I gotta be extra cautious? Do I gotta take a weapon with me? I've never felt that. Now I'm always um paying attention to my surroundings because I just feel like that's just common sense. And being that I used to live in the city, um, but we don't have it's not a lot of crime here. We don't see a lot of people breaking into people's houses. For one, if you break into somebody's house here, you just gotta be pretty stupid. You gotta be pretty stupid because a lot of people are hunters here. Most people have guns, more than one gun. And if you're breaking into somebody's house, you're really wanting to go see Jesus and you're playing the fool. You're playing the fool. What's up?
When are you gonna be done?
Shortly. I want you to go brush your teeth
Okay.
and you need to wash your
That's
face.
Hi.
Go brush your teeth and wash your face. It's almost time for you guys to go to bed. I don't know what time it is, but I'm sure it is. Um, so it's a very nice place. But the Move to North Dakota Summit registration is the registration is open. I put the information for the registration in the description so you can go there and register. Now, if you are very serious about possibly making North Dakota your new home, you are going to want to Hey, Carrie.
Mom, this is broken.
It's not broken.
What's this?
It melted from the oven. I got a little too close to the oven and it melted. Give me 5 minutes, okay? Can you go brush your teeth?
I'm going to the bathroom first.
Okay, make sure you wash your hands. So, if you're really serious about possibly making North Dakota your new home, you want to come to the Move to North Dakota Summit. It is going to be jam packed with information. I'm going to have a doctor there. She's going to be talking about healthcare in North Dakota, what it's like being a Black woman, a Black person in the medical field here in North Dakota. I'm going to have a hospital administrator. She's going to be talking about her experience here, living here in North Dakota. She lived in a town where it was just her husband, and one other Black person in the town. And she's doing really well over there. In fact, she had thought about running for mayor. That's how little problems she have with people of a different race over there. Um, I'm having a retiree. He is a retired community activist. He used to run the homeless coalition here. So he will be talking about his experience here, living here. Um, who else is going to be there? Doctor, hospital administration.
Oh.
Doctor, hospital administrator, excuse me, retired community activist, um, travel expert is going to be on there. Now, he is not going to be talking about travel, but he lives here in North Dakota, and he's going to be talking about raising his Black son here in North Dakota. He's going to be talking about that. Now, this is not just for Black people. If you are not Black and you're watching this channel, I really appreciate it. This is for anyone who is looking for a new start, a fresh start. You wanted to be able to move to somewhere where you're going to be able to take care of yourself and or your family, get ahead in life. This is for you. But as you can see, I am Black. And a lot of people, when I go somewhere, people are like, Black people live in North Dakota. And I'm like, yes, we are here. And it is a good place for us because let's tell the truth. Black people have been behind the eight ball here in America for various reasons that I'm not going to get into in this video. But it is a good place for you to come, get ahead. There's plenty of jobs here, good paying jobs. You can afford to live, pay your rent, or buy a home, live comfortably, take care of your children. It's safe. You don't have to worry about high crime, all that kind of stuff. So all are welcome. Engineering opportunities, absolutely, especially if you are going to work for an oil company. You can make big bank here. My husband works for an oil company. He's not an engineer. He's what they call maintenance technician or something, which sounds like, I don't know what it sounds like, but he does something with fixing the equipment and make sure it's running right, testing it or something like that he does. So who else is going to be on? I'm trying to remember. Oh, I'm having a small business owner. I'm a small business owner, but I'm having someone else who is also a small business owner. She and her husband moved here from California. He just so happens to work for the same company my husband works for. She owns a hair salon here, so she's going to be talking about her experience with that and raising their daughter. I'm trying to get a nurse on. I've spoken to him, but I just gotta button down 100% sure that he's going to be able to attend, or if I can get a pre-recorded video about his experience here. He came here from Louisiana. Technically, he's no longer in North Dakota. He moved about a month ago to Minnesota, but for like 11 years, he was here in North Dakota. So I wanted him to share his experience. But you want to come to the Move the North Dakota Summit. It is going to be jam-packed with information. If you are very, very serious about potentially making North Dakota your home, you're going to want to upgrade to the VIP experience, because when you upgrade to the VIP experience, go brush your teeth. Thank you very much.
But mommy, I already did.
Okay. When you upgrade to the VIP experience, you're going to get the Move to North Dakota toolkit. Now, the North Dakota toolkit is jam-packed with information. It's going to have resources from about different cities: Minot, Grand Forks, Bismarck, Fargo, and Williston. It's going to have information about housing, daycare, different things of that nature. But the best part about the VIP toolkit is that it is going to have up-to-date job listings for those different cities. Yes, up-to-date job listings for those different cities and what you can expect to be paid for those particular jobs. So if you're very serious about possibly making North Dakota your new home, you want to attend the Move to North Dakota Summit, and you want to upgrade your ticket to the VIP experience so you can get the toolkit. And the toolkit is going to have much more information in it. You're going to have a customizable plan to move. You'll get a budget sheet for moving, things of that nature. You're going to get a winter survival guide. So it's going to be jam-packed with information. I know when you move to a new place, it can be overwhelming, especially if you're moving by yourself. When I moved here, it was just me and my boyfriend. We didn't know anyone here, and I didn't have anyone to give me information about what North Dakota would be like before we moved here. We just came on faith. And to be quite honest, if he hadn't came, I was going to come anyway, because he wasn't my husband. He wasn't my husband then. I was going to come anyway because I needed a change and wanted to do something better with my life. Yeah, boring could be good. What is the best city? The best city depends on what you like. I can't say what is the best city. So we have Minot, which is where I live. We have and these are the biggest places. We have a lot of small places here, but Minot, Bismarck, Grand Forks. Grand Forks is really nice. It has quite a different bit of shopping and restaurants over there. There's Minot, Bismarck, Grand Forks, Fargo, Dickinson, and Williston. Williston, from what I hear, is very dry. But Williston is where the money is at if you're a man. Well, woman too, because if you want to do the other kind of work, that's your business. But the money, oil, is in Williston, which you can get an oil field job or oil company job. You don't have to work directly in Williston, but Williston is, kind of more, is just that. And Williston, from what I hear, could be kind of expensive because it is the oil, unless it's changed because the oil boom has slowed down. The oil is there. The oil is in Williston. Oh, we definitely need you out here. Candy, stay natural. We definitely need you here if you're a paramedic and an LPN. North Dakota needs you. Okay. Yep, if God be for you, who could be against you? And the scripture doesn't say it this way, but if God be for you, the who don't even matter. Who don't even matter, because God already got you. I'm just reading back through the comments. Thank you guys for watching. No, the the summit is going to be on Zoom. It is live. The only thing so far that is going to be pre-recorded is the retired community activist, because On the Saturday that the event is happening, he goes to one of the assisted living facilities in town because he's a minister also. So he goes there. And of course, I wouldn't want him to not do his obligation that he's been committed to for years. So we're going to have his portion pre-recorded. But it is live on Zoom. If you get your ticket and you do not have Zoom, make sure you download the Zoom app either to your phone, or if you will be using your laptop or computer, download Zoom to your laptop, computer, tablet, whatever device you're going to be using, because it is going to be on Zoom. It is not on Facebook. It's not going to be here on YouTube. It's going to be on Zoom. And also, when you get the VIP, you're going to get access to the replay. You'll get access to the replay. So you want to make sure you get your tickets. Tickets are limited, and if you can get the tickets from it's on Eventbrite. I put the link in the description. You can go there, but you can go to the short version to get to the tickets is bit, that's bit.ly/ move to North Dakota Summit. You can go there to get your tickets. The link to get the ticket is in the description box. It's in the description box there, but you can go to bit.ly/ move to North Dakota Summit. And what I will do when I'm finish this live is I will put it over as a regular video, and I'll put the information there as well. So thank you guys for watching. I hope to see some of you there. Oh, and the other thing that you're going to get with the VIP is you will get access to a private Facebook group. So you'll be able to connect with other people who are serious about moving to North Dakota. And hopefully you can connect with some people who are going to move to the same city as you. And before you even get here to North Dakota, you have a few friends that are here in North Dakota as well. I got to go, you guys. My kids have school in the morning. Thank you all for watching. I appreciate it. Until next time, be blessed and have a prosperous future.